You're the owner of the most profitable franchise in film history. You paid more than $4 billion for it. You haven't released a single movie in 6 years, and your TV shows die faster than Jar Jar Binks' senatorial career. So, what do? Solution A, listen to your audience and produce content that actually respects the spirit of the franchise. Solution B, blame the fans, especially those dangerous, unhinged content creators who, for some unfathomable reason, dared to criticize your revolutionary shows. What do you think the showrunners chose?
I have a bad feeling about this.
If you guessed B, congratulations! You win the right to subscribe to my channel. According to Leslye Headland, the visionary behind the Acolyte, it wasn't the show's quality, but those toxic content creators that doomed it. How could anyone dare question such a triumph of storytelling? It's not just Headland, and it's not just Star Wars. Hollywood seems determined to wage war on its own audience. How many iconic stories have been repurposed as blunt instruments to hammer the same messages into our skulls? Female empowerment, gender identity, your endlessly skewed vision of diversity. How loud do fans have to shout before anyone finally listens? We don't care. Those themes don't resonate anymore. They're more overplayed than the love triangles in YA romance. And they're not what Star Wars is about. Star Wars is about resisting oppression. It's about hope. So when those content creators you keep blaming speak up, they're actually acting in the very spirit of the franchise.
Fight the Empire!
Fight the Empire. Fight the oppression. And in this case, the oppression is the incessant messaging you keep ramming down everyone's throats. Let's talk about diversity for a minute. The cast of the original trilogy was diverse in the ways that actually matter. Personality, conflict, perspective, flaws. They were wrong sometimes. They were messy, quirky, stubborn, human. But in modern shows, oh sure, the cast might ace the Disney diversity grid, but the characters themselves, they're all equally forgettable. And that's not even the Acolyte's biggest problem. You promised a mystery thriller set at the end of the High Republic, and instead delivered an unintentional parody. Spaceballs: The Return.
My brains are going into my feet!
Except somehow not meant to be funny. It's so absurd and implausible that we're left wondering whether to laugh, cry, or simply switch to something, anything else. See, the Acolyte was a bold portrayal of the Jedi as a decadent, incompetent, morally rotted organization. The Sith were basically the good guys. Who could have predicted that twist? What visionary subversion? What daring reinvention of millennia-old lore? Almost makes you forget the lead actor had less charisma than a battle droid. And unlike her, battle droids are occasionally entertaining.
Roger, roger.
Uh-oh.
To her credit, Headland speaks lovingly about the designers, the one universally praised part of the show. If Disney had released The Acolyte as a silent film, the reviews might have been higher. Just throw in some saloon music, a grain filter, and voila, experimental Star Wars cinema. Here's the thing. I genuinely wanted a show that explored Sith lore in depth, the temptations of the dark side, the mystique of the Order, the ancient rule of two. If you want that experience, go read Darth Plagueis by James Luceno. The Acolyte could have done that on screen. It could have expanded the dark mythology, added texture to the Jedi-Sith conflict. But no, oh no, that wouldn't be innovative enough. Leslye Headland had to modernize Star Wars. Just like Tony Gilroy modernized Star Wars in Andor, except Gilroy did so by writing one of the finest scripts in the franchise's history. Andor has subtlety. It has compelling characters. It's morally gray, but consistent with the thematic spirit of Star Wars. But that wasn't modern enough. Shows like Andor and early Mandalorian were too disconnected from the cultural discourse of modern California. It's not like these stories take place a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Obviously, they should reflect contemporary social media talking points. Call me contrarian, but Andor is the only reason I still feel proud to be a Star Wars fan. Now, Ahsoka? That was a different kind of experiment. It felt like an exercise in pure pure fan service. So much so I half expected Ahsoka to hand me popcorn through the screen. Your average Wattpad fanfic shows more originality than that series. The only thing missing was another Death Star. Admiral Thrawn's arrival was the most exciting part of Season 1, and frankly, the only one. And to make matters worse, news broke that Claudia Black, who played one of the Night Sister mothers in Season 1, won't be returning for the show's second run. According to her, Disney wasn't paying her enough.
You idiots!
Back to the Acolyte. Rest in peace, all of you, all the characters I've already forgotten. What glorious storytelling we missed in Season 2. Headland teased a lot of ideas, mostly centered on Manny Jacinto's Chimere, the one character the audience actually tolerated because he displayed a measurable amount of charisma. She also mentioned exploring the deterioration of Lee Jung-jae's father figure character. Because if there's one thing Star Wars desperately needs, it's yet another deconstructed, morally crumbling mentor figure. We definitely haven't seen that before. While the cancellation didn't shock anyone, the discourse around it was far more entertaining than the show itself. Naturally, the showrunner blamed the fans, specifically content creators, for influencing studio decisions. Apparently, YouTubers are being treated like focus groups. Tragic. Tragic, I say. But have you seen the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes? It's below 20%. Maybe Disney should have focused on those 20% who enjoyed the show. Ignore the viewership numbers. Burn the money. That's a totally sustainable business model for a multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Not about money. It's about sending a message.
And of course, it's the toxic fandom's fault. The same villain that supposedly murdered the Acolyte, the Book of Boba Fett, and whatever else Lucasfilm released into the wild these past few years. But let's pause the melodrama for a second. Why shouldn't studios listen to content creators? Content creators are the most efficient, far-reaching focus group imaginable. Thousands of people voluntarily dissecting every strength and flaw of a project in excruciating detail. Their videos get millions of views with thousands of comments agreeing, disagreeing, or offering additional perspectives. It is free market research, babe. But no, why listen to amateurs? It's not like these creators understand the audience better than the studios do. Headland even suggested we're heading toward a future where commentary around Star Wars carries more cultural weight than Star Wars itself. And honestly, given how nutritionally thin Disney's recent output has been on the cultural impact scale, that's not exactly a Herculean challenge. This is what happens when a franchise becomes a bland corporate product, stripped of a singular artistic vision, repurposed as a delivery system for whatever moral lecture is fashionable nowadays. And it's not just Star Wars, it's almost every major fantasy and sci-fi franchise. Yeah, check out my Witcher review. Oh, and don't you dare leave negative comments about Star Wars. We can't have that. We don't want to be accused of toxicity, the deadliest force in the galaxy. Don't be one of those bad actors responsible for sinking masterpieces like The Acolyte, The Book of Boba Fett, and, well, the other shows Lucasfilm hopes you forgot existed. But let's not descend into despair. Let's hold on to a little hope, the very thing Star Wars is supposed to be about. Let's believe the producers will finally learn their lesson and deliver a flawless Star Wars experience in, what's next again? The Mandalorian and Grogu, releasing May 2026? I can't wait.